climate change and gender equality. So here we look at the impact of climate change on gender equality. And the fact is that climate change actually worsens the already existing gender inequality. Women are the disadvantaged gender, and climate change seems to be worsening this situation. Now, let's look at a few examples that lend credence to this assertion. Climate change actually leads to increased drought and water shortage, and this affects women much more than it affects men. That is because we know that in most parts of the world, women are responsible for providing food and water for the family. Now, drought and scarcity of water means a lot of hard work for women. It's going to be harder for them to find water and to prepare food for the family. This has secondary effects on, say, access to education, because if women and girls have to work harder to find water, it means they spend more time doing this, and this may affect access to education. It may also affect the ability to engage in income generating activities to take care of themselves and their families, and this may further push them into more poverty. Of course, drought and lack of water may also affect crop production. We know that in most parts of the world, women produce about half of the food, and in most developing countries, about 60 to 80% of the food crop production is done by women. So, as water becomes scarce, as rainfall becomes erratic, as temperatures worsen, it becomes difficult for women who produce crops to engage in good agriculture and to maintain their yields and provide food and provide income for the family. On a similar note, scarcity of water and drought may also lead to loss of species. So we know that as the seasons change, women tend to develop on different varieties of crops to provide for the family. Climate change leads to loss of some species. And so this means that it is even harder for women to cook during some seasons, because crops that they would have depended upon take care of the family and to probably gain some income as well may disappear, and it may be difficult for them to make ends meet. These show that climate change impacts women more heavily and actually worsen the inequality between men and women. And therefore, in order to ensure the eradication of poverty and ensure financial inclusion, it is important that we pay attention to climate-related risks and build the necessary protection for both men and women, especially women because of their higher exposure to the risks.